Hey guys, today I wanted to share about something that I feel like is highly underrated, reasonably cheap, and also something that really is not highlighted in the health space, and that is how to naturally open up our detox pathways. So, as we progress along our health journey, if you think culturally about things that are pushed on us, it's typically, eat less, move more, add these supplements in, basically a lot of additional things into your probably already full plate. So the thing is that a lot of those healthy inputs may not work as well as they could if your body is not properly detoxing. And really, we can do that naturally. You don't have to go out and buy some expensive, high-priced detox program. Really, a lot of those that are out there on the market are, one, overpriced, but two, they're not long-term sustainable for you to keep up with. So as we think about how we make big strides in our health, for me, a big switch in my mindset was when I learned about detox pathways and genuinely how our bodies naturally are built. Our bodies are meant to detox, and a lot of our everyday stressors get in the way of that. So when we think about detoxification, we have our skin is our largest organ. It's a detox pathway. We sweat, things come out of our pores. It's our body's way of getting rid of things. So our skin is a detox pathway. We think about our lungs. So every time we exhale, we're detoxing to a certain extent. And we also obviously have our detoxification pathways through our digestive system, and making sure that we have daily bowel movements plays into that as well. Lots of things get excreted that way, not just food. So this is a concept that I really think should be talked about in your high school biology class, and it's just typically not really. But if you're on a weight loss journey, as you lose weight, your liver is going to break down fat, and then it's going to exit through your bowels. That's how our biology is designed. So if you're not properly detoxing in that way, you're not going to lose weight. So as we back this up a little bit, we'll talk more about liver function and how we can support our liver. But these things that I'm going to share today genuinely are pretty simple. I just think they're very, they're not mainstream. People can't make money off of this stuff. So they're not going to tell you about it. And I think most biology teachers, at least my biology teacher anyway, overlooked these processes. I didn't understand how this worked. So as we think about detox, there's a few things here that are very easy to implement, very easy to think about in your day-to-day schedule, and it genuinely is so much easier to attack, your health from this standpoint, because if your detox pathways are open and your body can naturally detox the way that it's meant to, then that just creates this domino effect that makes everything else easier. So this not only plays into weight loss, this also plays into your hormones and properly detoxing your used up hormones so that they don't get stockpiled up inside of your body, all that good stuff. So first of all, this is going to be the easiest, most simple thing you could do, but drink your water. It is meant for so many good things in your body, and allowing your body to properly detox is one of them. So drink your water. As far as a water goal, you should be drinking half of your body weight in ounces of water every single day. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not even that great at this. I know it's easy, but it's hard as a woman as a mom, as a wife, we are used to caring for others. And honestly, yesterday I looked at my husband at 5 p.m. and I was like, I don't think I've had a full glass of water, like not even a full 8 ounces. And so then I was catching up in the evening. So confessions of a health coach here. I'm not that great at it, but I know how good it is for you. And so if I get to a certain point in the day where I haven't done it, it usually clicks like, oh, I need to get on top of that. So half your body weight in ounces of water. Typically we hear 64 ounces. That's genuinely not enough for most women, specifically if you drink a lot of caffeine. Anytime that you drink caffeine, you're going to need to add in extra water to balance out that caffeine intake. Also, anytime that you're exercising or if you're sweating outside, you're losing those electrolytes and you need to replenish that as well. So, drink your water to keep those detox pathways open. That's always going to work in your favor. You can never go wrong with drinking water. Preferably, we want to be drinking filtered water and out of glass, not plastic. Drinking out of plastic can add to your toxic load and put more of a burden on those detox pathways. So preferably your filtered water in a glass as much as you have access to that. Okay, next thing in terms of supporting your detox is making sure that you're getting enough sleep. Like I said, like people don't talk about this stuff because it's almost too easy, but it's also easier said than done. So sleep, our body does so much detox work while we're sleeping if you're getting enough sleep. Once you get past that 6-hour mark of sleep, your body really goes into like deep restorative work and it clears out your whole digestive system. Like your liver is working so hard while you're sleeping, basically to get rid of everything from the day before that you no longer need. If your sleep is interrupted, or if it's shortened, or if you go to bed at a wonky time, or if you get up super early, it's gonna put a kink in the way that your body's naturally designed to detox while you're sleeping. So you wanna shoot for at least 6 hours. Most women need 8 to 9 hours, and statistically, women actually do need more sleep than men. So if do not get upset with yourself if you sleep in later than your husband. That's the way our bodies are naturally designed and created, and that's okay. So you want to try to give yourself that time every night, not just catching up on rest on the weekends, but every night, because your body will go into a deep restorative mode if you're getting enough sleep, and that can help keep those detox pathways open and then allow for health on the back end of that. You also really get a surge in human growth hormone while you're sleeping, which restores new cells. So if you're giving your body the proper amount of time to rest and giving it the space to detox, then it shifts into rebuilding mode. And this is where we start to see a shift in health in terms of less brain fog, higher energy levels, building muscle, losing weight. You're getting rid of the old and the bad and the things that your body no longer needs. And that increase in human growth hormone gives your body the surge that it needs to then auto-correct. You're course correcting towards health, and you stay on that trajectory as long as you're giving your body a long enough time to sleep. So this builds up to the liver, which I've mentioned. How do we support our liver, and really why is this important? So our liver, I think, is really underrated in terms of how much attention we pay to it. Like a lot of times you learn about how important your heart is, or how important your brain health is, and how to prevent Alzheimer's, and how to build muscles. We talk about some of those key things in the body, but the liver should be talked about more, because your liver has over 300 processes in the body that it's doing just like mindlessly. Like you don't even have to think about it, and your liver is working overtime for you. So your liver does a really good job of naturally detoxing your body as long as you try to stay out of the way. And what I mean by that is we don't want to overburden the liver. And things that burden the liver are alcohol, caffeine, NSAIDs, the category of medications like Advil, Tylenol, those sorts of things. And then also fructose and things that are high in sugar. So those things are going to burden your liver and slow down your detox pathways. Obviously, we know that, I mean, I'm sure most of us have probably heard people joke about like, yeah, my liver paid for that night, you know, like we maybe have all had a night where we're like, yeah, that wasn't great. But really, one glass of alcohol is going to impair your liver function for the next 24 to 72 hours. And while your liver is trying to catch up, it cannot do all of its regular processes properly and efficiently. That includes weight loss. So if you're on a weight loss journey and you have one glass of alcohol, I don't really care how many calories are in that. You might think like, oh, vodka's low calorie, it'll help me lose weight. Well, not really, because your liver actually is going to have to take a long time to break down that alcohol, and you're not going to be able to break down fat. Your body will prioritize the liver function and breaking down alcohol before it can break down fat. So that's one common misconception and why I think that the liver should be talked about more. That also plays into our hormones, because the liver is what breaks down our hormones and processes used up hormones. And if we are not properly detoxing and our liver is overburdened, then we get this backlog of excess hormones, which causes problems down the line. So if you have like super heavy periods, or if you have PCOS, or if you have got, you know, any host of things that can go wrong with our hormones, and I personally have experienced them, that can come back to our liver health and ultimately our body's detoxification. If your detox pathways are slowed down, then you will start to see issues because the liver cannot keep up. So when it's overburdened with alcohol, the next one would be caffeine. Really try to keep it to 1 or 2 cups of caffeine a day. I know how hard that is. I'm like a previous 4 to 5 cups of coffee a day drinker, and I had to slowly wean myself off of that. So I get that it's hard, but truly, if you're having health problems, or if you have health goals that you're not making progress on, it may be coming back to your detox pathways, and caffeine is one of those things that can genuinely hold us back. Like I said, the liver and our body is really good at getting to a healthy place, and we get in the way. And caffeine is probably the hardest thing that I see women go through, where it's like, okay, you're actually getting in your own way here, and if we let this go, maybe we can make more progress. So that's probably the hardest thing, I'll be honest. And up front, I've talked to so many people who are like, no, I'm not giving that up. And that's fine. But if you really are having health concerns, or you have a very clear goal in mind, that may be the one thing that's holding you back. So just give it a try, you know, and you can always still have your coffee just without the caffeine. You can go the decaf route and see what happens. So that would be my suggestion there. But caffeine is really, people are turning to caffeine daily. Alcohol, not necessarily, you know, that may be like a once a week thing. Caffeine daily is going to build up, and your liver is going to take the hit for that. So that's one other thing that we do to get in our way of opening up our detox pathways. The next thing is there's a certain category of medications NSAIDs, NSAIDs. I'm not going to try to say the whole thing on the video and try to sound that whole thing out for you guys, but you can look it up and look at what falls into this category. It's like Advil, Tylenol, like daily painkillers that, again, people might be turning to regularly, and that can put a big burden on your liver. So anytime we're taking those medications, your body's going to have to break those down. It's not something that we should be taking on a regular basis. I can't tell you the last time that I took a sort of medication that fell in this category. I really have to be like at my peak pain level to take something. Midol also falls into this category. So if you have issues during your cycle where you're in a lot of pain, taking anti-inflammatories and things like Midol can actually burden your liver at a time when your liver really needs to be flushing out excess hormones. And it may relieve your symptoms temporarily, but really it can elongate them and lead to issues all month long with your hormones and with your cycle. So I try to stay away from Midol as well, because those things just are not meant for our body to process, especially on a day-to-day basis. Taking like Tylenol PM even to try to support your sleep is then going to overburden your liver and slow down other processes. Yes, it might help you fall asleep initially, but then it's putting more work on your liver while you're sleeping. You're probably not getting as restful of sleep. It kind of creates this pattern over time where your liver slows down, and then it inhibits a natural process in your body. Then you're frustrated because that process, whether it has to do with your hormones or your cycle or your sleep or whatever, that is not ideal. So then you go back to the medication. It just creates this vicious cycle. And really trying to limit those. I'm not saying you have to stay away from them forever, but just not using them on a day-to-day basis and not using them, persistently, because that really is taxing on your liver and slows down your detox. The very last thing that I want to say about supporting the liver is overdoing it with sugars and fructose, again, is just going to slow down your liver's natural processes. So if you're adding sugar to your coffee, that's actually like a double hit on your liver. If you eat a ton of fruit throughout the day, especially on its own, like if you're not pairing your fruit with a protein or with a fat, then that fructose from your fruit is really hard on your liver. Drinking straight up juice, like apple juice, which I did daily when I was in middle school and high school. I'll be honest, all of these things I'm sharing, I've like learned the hard way. So this is like me preaching to the choir because I've been there, and these are all things that I've consistently tried to work on and improve. So drinking straight juice, not something that you should be doing daily either. If you, again, this all comes back to like specifically what your health goals are and any concerns that you might have. But that just kind of in summary, it all comes down to if you feel like there's a holdup somewhere, this little tidbit about liver and detox may be what's holding you back from reaching your health goals. And again, it's like seriously underrated, and I'm sharing this for free. You don't have to spend money on this type of thing. You're drinking water anyway, you're sleeping anyway. If you're limiting alcohol, if you're limiting caffeine, I'm actually saving you money here. So that's why you don't hear about it more. And these things really I've seen help clients make big progress, because the liver is so helpful for our bodies as long as we stay out of the way. So all of that to share, just something that's been on my mind as, kind of a common theme that I have seen clients struggle with, and things that I think really should, again, be highlighted in your biology class. Like, these are things I will be teaching my children as like you're a human. This is how your body physiologically works. And these are things that get in the way of your body doing its natural processes. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys and insightful and something new and refreshing. I just don't love the idea of people spending tons of money on detox products, and I also just genuinely want women to have a better understanding of how our bodies work, specifically when we're struggling with hormones and weight loss and most things that a lot of women talk about regularly. So let me know if this was helpful for you guys in the comments. And if you had any aha moments, please go ahead and share with friends, because I'd love to get the word out there about some of these just simple tips and tricks that can ultimately change your health.